Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Well, the president said yesterday that the war with Iran is basically over, right? I mean, we're in the final cleanup stages. There are some issues about the next government and whatnot, and we're going to cover all of that on the program and a whole bunch more. But I want to talk about this sickness in the media. The media, and I'm talking about the American media, right? The mainstream media, the legacy media. We know that they're anti-Trump. They're never Trumpers. The media have always been liberal. But what the mainstream media have become in the last couple of days, it started over the weekend, really, a little bit before that, but mainly over the weekend. And when the president was on Air Force One with a press conference on Saturday, it amped up. And then yesterday, the president had a press conference in Doral, which is a suburb of Miami, and it was getting hardcore. And we're going to go through this. What the media have become are press agents for the Ayatollah Khomeini. That's basically what they are. They're PR agents for the Iranian Islamic Revolution right now. They're the press office of the Revolutionary Guard. And the media have an obsession with blaming the United States, Trump in particular, for the rocket that hit this Iranian school. And this started early on, but they've gotten more so behind this. And I would say they've just decided, right, that the United States hit this school and killed all of these students. Now, there are a bunch of social media military analysts who have looked at the rocket and say that the direction that it came from was not where U.S. and Israeli military assets were, but it looked as if it came from the area where there's an Iranian military base. And the media, they're so quick to blame Trump in the United States for this rocket attack. They don't even consider the thought that maybe Iran hit the school on purpose to try to turn global opinion against the United States and Trump in this effort to purge Iran of this psychotic leadership that they have. The left and the media have been the hate America first crowd for a long time, but now we've gone to a whole new phase, and that's what we're going to talk about on the program today. The radio show will begin in about 35 seconds. I'm going to do an open on the radio. I'm going to play some audio sound bites of this and go through some of the articles and take your calls. And if you're new, I do take live calls. The number is pinned in the live chat. It's toll free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. All right, we have less than 10 seconds, so stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Okay, people, we have a lot to talk about today. I mean, a lot. And I am, yesterday I was telling you at the beginning of the program that the media are very angry that we're winning the war with Iran, that Iran is on the verge of collapse. The media are very angry over this, as you can tell. And it's getting worse for them all of the time, right? Then, over the weekend, they started with something else, something a little different. And what they started with over the weekend that is even more lowlife than they normally are is they are desperate in the media to blame President Trump and the United States with this rocket attack that hit this school and killed all of these Iranian students. I'm going to play a couple sound bites, going to go through some articles about it and show you what the media are doing. And what the media are doing with this school incident, in my opinion, and I'd like to ask you if you share this opinion, but my opinion is that it is 100% textbook treason. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on either side of that at 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Okay, so what I mean by treason is this. There's been no investigation. I have seen a lot of military analysts online who say that rocket that hit the school came not from the direction of U.S. and Israeli forces, but came from where the Iranian military are located, right? But there's been no investigation, but they've already determined we did it. So when I say this is treason, it's not something I say lightly. A lot of people throw words around. I don't throw words around and accusations around lightly. When I use a word like the media is committing treason, I mean it, okay? And this is what I mean by it. President Trump said in Doral yesterday that they're on their third government, maybe fourth, but on their third government, okay? It's been announced that the new supreme leader is the son of the Ayatollah, who is injured. How injured, we don't know, but he was injured in the original attack that happened. So we don't know how injured he is. We don't know if he can even walk. We don't even know if he's awake, okay? We don't even know if he's alive. But they say he's injured from that first attack. They've been hit hard. Their Navy's gone. Their Air Force is gone. President Trump said yesterday in Doral, at the press conference there, that we've taken out 90% of their rocket launchers, a whole bunch of their rockets. They have very few rockets left. And even for the few rockets they have left, they don't have rocket launchers to launch them. During the press conference yesterday, he said, as I speak, we are hitting the drone plant where they're making their drones. So things are going well. So when I say the media are committing treason over this school narrative that they're trying to get going, what I mean by that is the media are giving aid and comfort in the form of hope to the Islamic lunatic leaders of Iran. And that in itself is treason. You know, back in the Second World War, and I don't know, did this continue into Korea? But in the Second World War, the media were honorable, right? They wore uniforms. They looked like army uniforms. President Roosevelt could tell them things in advance and they wouldn't print it. You know, President Roosevelt brought in the White House press corps of the day and told them all about the Normandy invasion before it happened. They didn't report it because they were patriotic Americans. And since the Vietnam War, what the media really have become is the enemy within, right? And I've never seen it on display at the level we're at now. This is really bad what they're doing. You know, they don't even consider the idea that the Iranians targeted the school themselves to try to turn global opinion against the United States and Donald Trump. That doesn't even occur to them in the media. Oh, the Iranians would never do something like that. Now, if it was a U.S. rocket, if it was one of our launches that did it, certainly without a doubt, it was not on purpose. It was an accident. But the chances of that are slim because of the president. So here's the president on Air Force One on Saturday.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
That's right. Trump said no, but in my opinion, based on what I've seen, and he gets all the intelligence, and Pete Hegseth said we're investigating, and the only side that targets civilians is Iran. Yeah, that's right. They are a terrorist state. And, you know, these liberals, in particular in the media, that are so quick to defend Iran, Iran is a real life Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale is for real in Iran, and it has been since 1979. And President Trump is liberating all of the people of Iran from a real life Handmaid's Tale. And they hate him for it. They hate him for it. And they're desperate to turn public opinion. If you go and if you just do a Google News search, I mean, what comes up is disgusting, and it's all negative, implying some type of guilt on President Trump's fault. Just Google Trump Iran school, and what comes up is here's CNN. Here's just some headlines when you do a quick Google search. CNN. Trump gives conflicting answers on how long the Iran war will last. U.S. military refuses to endorse Trump claim that Iran bombed girls' school. They use the Hegseth click there. U.S. Tomahawk hit naval base beside Iranian school. A new video says this. New York Times. CNN investigation. New video appears to contradict Trump's claim deadly strike was not U.S. Really, what kind of investigation are they doing? Are they there with investigators? Do they have William Peterson and a CSI team over in Tehran? What are they talking about? This hate America first crime. And, you got to wonder, right? Do these people in the media even know what they're doing? Is what they're doing and saying just instinct to them, where they just automatically go into this hate America first nonsense that is going on right now with them? It's hard to say, isn't it? So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. And my main question is, do you believe the media are committing treason? Yes or no? I say yes. But your thoughts on the incident as a whole certainly are welcome. I've got a lot of other stories to cover. I'm going to get a little more into this after the break. But I just, the media, they're just too excited over this. Why, that's how much they hate you. President Trump has liberated more people than anyone. He's about to liberate Iran, which has over 90 million citizens. Cuba's next with about 11 million. So over 100 million are about to be liberated just there. Venezuela, right? He's ended the sex trafficking and human trafficking at the southern border. I mean, think about all of the people that Trump has saved their lives, literally, and also saved them from being victimized by just the most terrible thing somebody can be victimized by. And they, on the left and in the media, they hate him for it. Now, I want to tell you guys, it is tax season. If you've not called Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, that's okay. There's still time, okay? Give Jamie Levac at Swift Tax a call. He can help you with your taxes no matter where you're located in the United States. His office is here in South Florida, but even if you're in South Florida, you do not have to meet with him in person. You can do everything remotely and over the phone. Jamie Levac knows the tax code inside and out. The entire tax code has changed with the big, beautiful bill. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax will make sure that you get all the deductions that you're entitled to and that you get the largest deduction that you're owed from the government. And with Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, you can get your return in as little as 24 hours. Call or text right now, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our first break of this Tuesday. Can you believe it's Tuesday already? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Every year, millions of people travel overseas for medical procedures. They hope to save money or find faster care, but thousands come home with complications that could have been prevented or worse. Why? Unverified doctor credentials, unsafe clinics, poor aftercare planning, and more. In Don't Gamble with Your Health, the 7 key steps to safe, successful medical travel, author and registered nurse Giselle Medham, who has over 23 years of experience in healthcare, shares a life-saving system to help you plan smart, choose safe providers, and avoid costly mistakes. When you read Don't Gamble with Your Health, you'll learn how to spot red flags, vet doctors and hospitals, prepare for your recovery, uncover hidden cost, and travel with confidence. If you or someone you love is considering medical care abroad, this is the book that you must read first. Order your copy of Don't Gamble with Your Health, the 7 key steps to safe, successful medical travel, online at ebook.metahealth.uk. That's ebook.metahealth.uk. Your health isn't a gamble, it's your life.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
All right, we'll be back in about a minute. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Oh, man. Let me tell you. Hold on, guys. Less than a minute, we'll be back. Okay. About 30 seconds and we will be back. Thanks for joining. Make sure you guys like the video if you don't mind, please. That helps a lot. Spread the word about the channel. All right, less than 30 seconds. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Talking about this treason the media are committing. And before I get back to that, just on a mental note, I watched a network TV show, which I don't do that often, on ABC. There's a new show, R.J. Decker, and I watched it because it takes place in Fort Lauderdale. And a couple months back, they shut down part of Fort Lauderdale Beach to film. So I watched it because I thought, oh, wow, this is filmed in Fort Lauderdale. And I watched the premiere episode of R.J. Decker. It was okay. Nothing special, nothing to write home about, but it was okay. They filmed like 2 scenes on Fort Lauderdale Beach. And I saw 3 scenes filmed in South Florida, and nothing else was in Florida. And I looked out, they're filming it like in North Carolina or something. I couldn't believe it. They have one scene in the beginning that's in front of the Palm Beach County Courthouse in downtown West Palm. I recognize that. And they tell you it's the Broward County Courthouse. That's fine. But everything else, other than a couple of scenes over by the Elbow Room, they filmed one scene that took about 30 seconds in that park that used to be a parking lot. Next to the Elbow Room, and before that, it used to be a hotel years ago. And then one scene on the sidewalk on Fort Lauderdale Strip. There's some aerial footage, I guess, from drones from Las Olas Boulevard, and that's about it. I mean, what a disappointment. I was really hoping that they filmed that show here. But nah, not really. They're trying to, I guess they're getting a better deal from North Carolina than Florida. Or maybe they don't want to film in Florida because we're so Republican red here. Maybe that's it. I don't know. All right, but anyway, let's get back to the issues. So the media committing treason here. They're saying, they've all said, including the president, that it looks like a Tomahawk missile hit the school. And President Trump at the Doral press conference yesterday, he said multiple times, everyone around the world has Tomahawks, not just the United States, right? Tomahawks are sold to everyone. I don't know why they're so mainstream, but they've been around. How old are these Tomahawks? Like from the 80s? I don't know. Seems like I've been hearing about Tomahawks for a long, long time. And President Trump said everyone has Tomahawks in all the countries of the world. And because it's believed to have been a Tomahawk, they want to blame us. So the first clip I played was the Air Force One press conference yesterday. This one is from the Doral press conference yesterday with the president.
Please go ahead.
Mr. President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Okay. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, if it was us, it was. If it wasn't, the media is certainly not going to have. Now, this might be the same question from a different angle. Let me see here, this reporter.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday.
You know, I'll tell you another thing about the press corps. And I would like Caroline Leavitt to make a big change here with this. Don't you think they should have to identify themselves? They used to, in the old days, they would tell you who they are and who they're with. They don't do that anymore. Every once in a while, President Trump will say, "Who are you with?" And then they'll say. So with this Tomahawk missile, now, so far as everyone else in the administration, including Pete Hegseth, being non-committal, if you've noticed, the entire administration, other than Trump, has been non-committal on everything. They're letting President Trump take the lead on what's said here. But regardless of whose Tomahawk it was, the United States, Israel, or Iran, okay, I think there's some things that we can agree on, right? That if the Tomahawk that hit this school was from the United States or Israel, can we all agree that if that is the case, and I'm not saying that is, we don't know, but if it was a U.S. Tomahawk missile that hit the school, can we not agree that it was an accident? That it was not the intended target? Could we, if it was ours or Israel's, can we agree on that? We should be able to. If it was an Iranian Tomahawk, as many believe because of the trajectory, the direction that the Tomahawk missile came from, because there's videos of this, okay? If it was an Iranian Tomahawk, can we not agree that there's a possibility that the Iranians targeted the school on purpose to try to turn global opinion against the United States and President Trump? Yeah. I think these are things we can agree on. Can we also agree that the people of Iran are living in a modern-day Handmaid's Tale under the rule of the Ayatollah Khomeini and such? Of course we can. I mean, there's certain universal things about this that I think we could all agree on. So what are the media up to? By the way, if you're on hold, stand by. I'll get to the calls in a bit. The number is 888-465-1065. 2631. 888-465-2631. So, exactly. Come on. So what's the media up to here? The media, in my opinion, are 100% working as press agents for the Ayatollahs. No doubt about it. No doubt about it in my mind. They've already come to a conclusion it's ours. And furthermore, they're even suggesting, well, even if it was an Iranian Tomahawk missile, because we started this combat operation, it's our fault. Now, another thing that the media are doing, we've lost 8 or is it now 9 U.S. service personnel. It's either 8 or 9. And the loss of any American service personnel certainly is sad, okay? We don't want to lose anyone. But the media keep asking these questions like, well, how many Americans are you willing to lose? Yeah. Oh, let's give a number to the Iranians so they can target that number and get the war over. What a stupid question. And I've seen this asked and talked about more than once in the last day or two by the media. So while all loss of life by the United States in this conflict is a sad loss of life and tragic, the media are suggesting with 8 or 9 lost that Trump, the United States, should surrender? That we should pull out of Iran because we've lost 8 or 9 service personnel? That we should surrender and allow the Ayatollah to build everything back up? What are they suggesting here? I don't understand the point. It's a war. And the sad reality, there are casualties in a war. You try to limit them, but there are. So because we've lost 8 or 9, they want us to surrender? We've taken out their entire government twice, according to President Trump. Why aren't you calling on them to surrender? Why us? Now, they don't use the word surrender, but what does that mean? Well, we've lost 8, we've lost 9. Don't you think that's too many? Should the war be ended now? My goodness. And who's ever left running things in Iran, and I don't accept that the Ayatollah's son is in charge because of the reports of him being injured, and they're not telling us how injured he is or isn't, and we haven't seen him. So the original reports was that he was killed in the initial attack. So I don't even know if that's true, that he's alive and running anything. I've seen some pictures and videos, but that's old file stuff. No one's coming out for live because they don't want to be hit. So I don't accept that he's alive and in charge. We don't know that for sure. But the media, whoever's left in charge in Iran, they don't understand the pettiness and the history of the American mainstream fake news, Trump-hating, anti-American media. And they very well may confuse these scumbag reporters as representative of mainstream American opinion, and they're not. And the media are giving hope to the enemy in Iran that they could win this if they just stick it out. That's what the media is doing. That's why, in my view, we've crossed into the treason category. Now, I saw some news reports that rains are coming later this week. Oh, man. Yeah, I hope so. I need rain in my house. But when it rains, if you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, that means you got a leak in your roof. And you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing before that wet spot on your ceiling turns into a larger wet spot and other wet spots. You may just need a simple repair. You want to call Tom Laporta immediately when you see that first wet spot. It may only be the size of a quarter on your ceiling, but it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger if you ignore it. That's what happened to Steve Kane. Call Tom Laporta. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He works with every type of roofing material and on any type of structure, municipal, residential, commercial. He can handle a job of any size, whether it's one office building, one municipal building, a church, or a single-family home or an HOA with 500 units. He can handle that as well. He's also a contractor, which allows him to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the replacement or the repair of your roof. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, so you can call or text right now, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
It's time to bring autonomy and informed consent to the forefront of every clinical framework. Spades Up Advocacy value lived experience and spark critical discussions to improve our current mental health system to a model that values ethics over convenience. Spades Up Advocacy, challenging the narrative through lived experience. Online at spades-up-advocacy.com. That's spades-up-advocacy.com. From the center of power in Washington, D.C., to the decisions shaping the world, Washington Central, the podcast hosted by White House correspondent and global journalist Saurabh Shukla, cuts through the noise and explains what's really happening inside the corridors of power and why it matters to you. From the Iran war, the U.S.-India trade reset, to the inside story of how President Trump sealed the Gaza peace deal, Washington Central brings you sharp reporting and real conversations with the people who understand how the system actually works. On Washington Central, there's no spin, no partisan shouting, just facts first, context that matters, and clear explanations of how decisions made in Washington ripple across the globe. Episodes are short, focused, and insightful. If you want to understand the forces shaping geopolitics, policy, and global power, Washington Central is the podcast you want to add to your podcast playlist. Tune in right now on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever you get your podcast. Washington Central with Saurabh Shukla. Hey folks, today I want to tell you about a site that's caught the attention of a lot of budget-conscious fashionistas. Smart Buy Apparel, a women's online clothing store that lives up to its name. Looking for fashionable women's apparel without the price tag shock? Check out smartbuyapparel.com. They've got everything you need: dresses, tops, outerwear, handbags, jewelry, all at terrific deals. And here's why it's actually smart to shop there: free shipping on all orders, regardless of the order amount, and free product returns. Ordered the wrong size? Change your mind on your pick? No big deal. Just use their hassle-free self-serve return center to request your free shipping label for the item you want to send back. If you're listening right now, you get 10% off your entire order when you visit the site, smartbuyapparel.com. Lovely women's apparel at bargain prices, great service, and zero stress. Head on over to smartbuyapparel.com right now to pick your favorites. smartbuyapparel.com.
All right, we'll be back in about a minute. So if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat. Okay, we got about 30 seconds and we'll be back. The number's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's pinned in the chat. If you're on hold, hang in there. Fifteen seconds. All right, we're back. I'm talking about the media obsession with blaming Trump in the United States for launching a Tomahawk hitting this school. Have you heard any negative coverage from the mainstream media about Iran? I haven't. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Sean from Massachusetts.
Oh, hey, Sean. How you doing?
All right, good morning. You know, looking at all this stuff, you know, it just shows you how bad this mainstream media is because, you know, it just makes me another example of what just happened in New York City. When Mamdani gets up there and all the reporters of what the demonstration, it was anti-Islam, little showing from Jake Lane, and he gets attacked all the time, and then someone threw a little homemade bomb over at them. I don't know if you heard about this. And the media is trying to downplay it. They're not calling it what it is.
Well, there was an Islamic terrorist attack. There was an attempted Islamic terror attack in New York City. They're saying it was ISIS inspired. Nothing to do with Iran, of course. And they're trying to make it go away. In fact, I saw one news story they had on the network news. I can't remember which one it was. And on the screen, they showed a guy in a MAGA outfit, a MAGA shirt. I'm like, what does he got to do with this?
Exactly. They're putting up images on all these websites of us. They're saying during a and then they call it a white supremacist demonstration, and a MAGA rally.
Mamdani said it was a white supremacist event.
Yeah. And then, but all the media, all the biased media, all they're saying is that there was an attack. But they just can't say it for what it is, you know. But they like to say it the other side, identify completely what they think the other side is.
Exactly.
And they completely swipe out everything else. And it's the same thing that's happening with the reporters in Iran, you know, because they're not telling us the truth of everything. You know, the only very few people, you know, such as yourself, we're actually getting the real story of what's happening here. Because
I gotta tell you, Sean, you know, this attempted attack in New York City, the guys said it wanted to be bigger than the Boston bombing, and people forget that was another Islamic terrorist attack, and that was a brutal attack. I mean, it was just a lot of people got hurt.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people got hit in that one.
It was bad. Yeah, I remember because I'm being here in the state, you know, Massachusetts. I remember the whole thing happening. I mean, it was just pandemonium what was going on.
Well, what the media are doing, you know, one thing about getting older is you get perspective because you've seen more. And anytime there's been a conflict with Iran, which we're in now, obviously, right? The media always gets sympathetic to the Iranians, always. And in this case, the Muslims. And I got to tell you, last night, Mamdani had a Ramadan dinner at the governor's mansion, Gracie Manor, and he had on that Syrian guy who's trying to start a revolution in the United States at Columbia University, the one that Trump wanted to deport that they couldn't. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, is that appropriate? And I want to ask you guys a question. On September 12th, 2001, you know, that was a tough day to do a show, man. I'll tell you what. We were on the air live on 9/11. You know, and if I would have told you on September 12th, 2001, that in 2026, New York City will have a Muslim mayor whose wife will be praising Hamas, which she did, and they're going to have, and the Muslim mayor and his Muslim wife are going to have a Ramadan dinner in the mayor's mansion with a Syrian jihadi, you guys would have told me I was nuts, and here we are.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it's just unheard of. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them over in New York City. They have lost their minds. They have lost touch of reality, lost touch with their identity. I mean, I think there's a good majority of people in the city that really do not want this going on, but it's just so corrupt in that whole state.
Well, what does it tell you about the Islamic terrorists, which were fighting in Iran, right? They have a Muslim mayor elected by the people of New York City, and the Islamic terrorists are still trying to blow stuff up in New York City. I mean, it's friendly to them. They just elected a Muslim mayor whose wife was celebrating October 7th.
Yeah, right in the whole. Yeah, usually when you have somebody like a leader or a figure. I don't want to call him a leader because he's none of those things. But when you have somebody like that in power, they usually just and they control things. You don't see that kind of thing happening.
That's
now
right.
This is almost mutate into something else. It's completely. This is because you have the Antifa, and you cross pollinate these two things, and you cross
That's
the
right.
communism, and now you're going to get this kind of radical.
I mean, think about what the
behavior.
world's going to be like without the Islamic lunatics running Iran. How little terrorism from the Muslims is going to be in this world, because almost all of it is from Iran. Almost all of it.
That's true. That's true. That's where the nerve center is involved. And when Trump completes the mission, and he will do it, and he'll do it faster than people believe. And he, this is going to change a lot of things, because there's so many millions of Iranians that are really against us. I was watching a really great demonstration the other day of a lot of people. This was in Portland, and they were all out in the streets, American flag and Iranian flag dancing, and it was a lot of them. And it just shows you that there's so many more people that are happy about this.
Absolutely.
Than there are people that are against. And that's what we're going to see. And just because everybody's precipice beyond anything else. And I think that's what's going to shine in the end. It doesn't matter what the media says. It doesn't matter what these politicians, these mayors do.
That's right. Well, listen, Sean, it's good to hear from you. I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. All right, I agree with everything you said. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. The number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben. All right, Ben, what's up?
Hey, so we got to remember when Biden, the drone strike, like 13 innocent people, 7 of them including children, during the horrible Afghanistan withdrawal, they didn't give him nearly as much flack as they're giving Trump for something that we didn't even do. I mean, how often is it that these people's decrepit stockpile of weapons are so old and so under maintenance that they can constantly do something wrong? And even so, the media, I don't know why we keep going around. I'm not talking about you, but just like conservatives in general, like talking about the media. What else do we need to show that these people would rather Trump fail, even if it meant America failing?
Yeah,
because
they want Iran to win. They want Iran to win. Remember when Obama, in an airstrike on ISIS, knowingly killed Kayla Mueller, the American hostage, who was a sex slave of the ISIS leader? He knew she was there, and he ordered the strike anyway. Killed an American girl in her 20s. And that was the day he did his selfie stick video, comedy skit. Remember that? Yeah. I mean, where's the outrage from that?
His drone strikes were insane. The point is, imagine, just all you got to do is switch the roles. And I know this is the number one exercise of people on the right, but seriously, it's effective. Like, switch the roles. If Biden was here, what would they be talking about? It's all about, the media lies in many different ways. And one of the ways they lie is they lie by what they choose to cover and what they choose not to cover.
Correct.
And you can consider it a form of dishonesty. It's not like out, but it's propaganda. And there's no difference between the propaganda they're spewing, and notice how there's a convergence between the left and the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owen right, where like they're literally all in agreement with one another. And this just tells me one thing. They're just trying to counter-signal Trump just to counter-signal Trump because they want him to fail. They're not actually reporting this objectively, saying, what happened here. They're coming at it with a moral, like a righteous indignation. And it's this whole anti-Trump coalition now that unfortunately includes people who used to be on our side, or at least I thought.
Tucker.
And they're all pushing. There's no difference between what they say and what the Iranian regime would want the American media to say in order to undermine morale and undermine the public support for this war. It's so sickening, and it is treasonous on a level, because if you get the population to turn against the very war that could rid us of a substantial amount of terrorism that we have been the overwhelming target of, or our allies of. I mean, how would you not want that? I mean,
well, right now the Iranian regime is desperate, and they're seeing this media coverage in this country, and they're getting hope if we can just outlast them. Look, they want him to withdraw after 9 Americans dead. So if we can get 10 more, they're giving aid, comfort, and hope to the enemy, the American media. No doubt.
Oh, I know. And you know what's going to be amazing? When Trump actually pulls this off, everyone's just going to go silent like it never happened. This is what they always do. They always doubt, just like Trump's Iranian nuclear strike, and they try to cause sow chaos, and then he's successful, and they just pretend like they didn't doubt him majorly for the entire
And how
duration of the
can the
operation.
Democrats defund the Department of Homeland Security during time of war against a terrorist nation? My goodness, the homeland's under big threat right now.
Yeah, because they are terrorists. But I think Democrats are like they called us domestic terrorists. They're the terrorists. They hate this country.
Mm-hmm.
They want to destroy the Constitution. They are constantly giving aid and comfort to these Islamists who want to kill us. They release illegals constantly who have 32 convictions, and then finally they'll throw them away once they murder someone. These people are doing everything they can to destroy this country. And so, it doesn't surprise me that Democrats they just want to cause, the reason they want to defund it is because they want to make Trump look bad. If they defund the DHS and he's unable to fulfill one of his agenda items, come 2028, they'll be like, look, he wasn't able to do it. Meanwhile, they were the reason for it. I mean,
That's right.
People are evil.
That's right.
And,
well, listen, I gotta run, Ben, but good call. All right, we've started off the day with great calls, I must say. If you're on hold, hang in there. Let's talk about Slomin's. Protecting your home, yourself, and your family is so important. And I'm going to talk about the Slomin's free offer. This makes a great gift. Mother's Day is coming up. Get this for mom or grandma, okay? Slomin, or your daughter who lives out on her own. Slomin's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring, all for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. Just give them a call, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Your Slomin's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad access so you can check in no matter where you are in the world. Give them a call right now no matter where you're located, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
From author Tony Soika, who is named 2026's Best New Author in Veteran Fiction by Insider Weekly, comes a vigilante justice thriller for fans of Jack Reacher, military suspense, and stories that fight back against animal cruelty. Pit Bulls in Paradise, available on Amazon. After 30 years in the Army and 3 brutal combat deployments, John thought he'd finally found peace in Key West. But Paradise has a dark side when he discovers a savage dogfighting ring tied to ruthless criminals and abused pit bulls. Forced into bloody battles, he can't walk away. Haunted by war, driven by loyalty, and fueled by his love for man's best friend, this veteran becomes a one-man army against evil. Now, the hunters are the hunted, and one wrong move could cost John everything. Justice is coming, and it has teeth. Order your copy right now on Amazon, in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Pit Bulls in Paradise, from author Tony Soika, on Amazon. Looking for more patients? ProvidersNook.com helps healthcare professionals get discovered. ProvidersNook.com's easy-to-use directory connects local patients with doctors, therapists, and clinics, so your practice stands out when it matters most. ProvidersNook.com makes healthcare easier to find. Patients quickly discover trusted providers nearby, and healthcare professionals gain more exposure, more bookings, and more growth, all in one powerful directory. Best of all, it's very affordable. Go right now to ProvidersNook.com. That's ProvidersNook.com, your premier healthcare provider directory. ProvidersNook.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. and our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses. I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, we'll be back in about 30 seconds, guys, so stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll go back to the phones when we get back. Yep, if you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. Please like the video, guys. Liking the video helps spread the word about the channel, all right? So please like the video. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Sandra from Indiana.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey, listen, how do we know that the Iranians aren't bombing these places themselves
Exactly.
to get sympathy?
Exactly.
And, yes, and another thing, only about 14 states are required or do teach about 9/11, and it makes you wonder how they are teaching 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Bush was still in office, my daughter, when she was in the 5th grade, her teacher told the social studies class that it was President Bush's fault.
Really? What year was that? What year was that? Around?
It was like 2002, 2003.
That's soon. Well, you know, they may not have been a liberal. A lot of conspiratorialists who are conservative believe that Bush had prior knowledge, which I don't subscribe to that, by the way. But
no, but she came out crying, and she said the teacher said that he was causing the people to starve to death.
Oh,
said,
really? He drove those rich kids to do that. Oh, yeah.
But and you remember when all the senators, Congress people, and all that stood on the steps of the Capitol and said, "God bless America."
Yeah, I know. It's I got to tell you, the thing about the left, and this is something, when I was young and I first started doing this, I would hear conservatives all the time say the liberals are the hate America first crowd, and I just couldn't understand why they said that when I was younger. I'm like, yeah, they're liberal, but come on, how can they hate America? And how naive I was. They do hate America. The left hate this country.
They do, and I've seen what's gone on in New York City, which does blow my mind, because I visited New York City in 1984 for a hair convention.
A hair convention?
And, well, when I was a hairdresser.
Oh, you're a hairdresser. A hairdresser's convention. Okay.
Yeah. And, I didn't see nothing. I mean, it just blows my mind to see what New York City's like now. It just...
Yeah.
It's going to end up becoming a Gaza Strip if they don't do something about it.
Well, I got to tell you, having a Muslim mayor, we're really going to see when the 9/11 anniversary comes up how he handles it. Obviously his wife liking these posts on Instagram, praising and celebrating the October 7th attacks on Israel, tells you where their heart and mind is. And their perspective on 9/11 is not going to be what our perspective is. Remember Ilhan Omar, what she said? Some people did some things on 9/11. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, some people did some things. Okay.
She looked like a fool at the presidential address on the TV.
Yeah. This is New York deserves what it gets at this point. They elected this guy. They knew what they were getting, right? He won the primary on a lark, but he won the general election. That wasn't on a lark, okay? And Curtis Sliwa has some responsibility in that too. But they voted for this. It's a textbook of the destruction of America that the liberals have brought us. I mean, how and that they've forgotten 9/11. They have forgotten 9/11. And who would have ever thought, right, that New Yorkers would have forgotten 9/11?
Well, my fear, and I'm not going to name it, my fear is a couple of very important sites that they will end up destroying.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. All right, I appreciate the call. So let me play that. This is Mamdani. Now, we had this Islamic terror attack attempt in New York City over the weekend. Here's Mamdani in his press conference about it.
Us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled...
A white supremacy protest? A couple of Islamic terrorists were trying to blow the thing up. Why is he talking about white supremacy and white supremacist? See, this, I'll play the whole thing here, but this is what I mean by Mamdani, Ilhan Omar, Tlaib, and others. They're U.S. citizens legally, but they're not in their hearts and minds. Their perspective is not that of an American.
Us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city.
I mean, it's almost, does this sound almost like a justification for what these guys were trying to do?
Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home.
See, and this is another perspective. The victims of 9/11, he believes, are the Muslims.
While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen.
Oh, gee, thank you.
Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone. I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor.
Where's the condemning of the Islamic terrorist? I don't know, I'm 43 seconds into this. I've not yet heard the even talking about Islamic terrorists.
Clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all. But a few did not. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Qayyumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody, and the devices they brought taken off of our streets. I want to commend the officers who...
See, no mention of ISIS, Islam, Muslim, Islamic terrorism. No mention of that, but he sure mentions white supremacy. That's the problem, not the terrorists. Oh, my goodness. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, the mega sale continues. I want to talk about the great sale on the MyPillow mattress toppers. Huge discounts. You know, people ask me sometimes, after the MyPillow, if you could only have one other MyPillow product, what would it be? That's easy. That's the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Huge discount right now with our promo code Kane. And free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper turns your mattress into a big MyPillow. So if you have a lumpy, bumpy mattress, a lopsided mattress, or think you need a new mattress, get that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It will change your life. And even if you like your mattress, get the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It's like sleeping on a big MyPillow. It will change your life. It's changed mine. My wife and I have had our 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper for years. And it just fits on. There's a strap on each of the 4 corners, and it fits securely, and you never have to worry about it. And it's, by the way, machine washable. It will change your life. If you think you've had a good night's sleep, you haven't until you've slept on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Huge discounts on the mattress toppers right now with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com, and also free shipping. Okay, so take advantage. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, we'll take our break for the top. If you're on hold, hang in there. I got a lot more to cover. We'll continue with this and more. If you'd like to call in, the number is 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Do you remember those books you loved as a child? The ones that made you smile every time you opened them? Author Paul F. Busutto Jr. brings kids a colorful, joyful story about Leonardo, a friendly pizza maker whose kindness and laughter follow him everywhere he goes, and That Pizza Guy, available on Amazon. Filled with bright illustrations, playful characters, and a heartwarming message about friendship and sharing, That Pizza Guy is a children's book parents love to read at bedtime, and kids ask for again and again. And teachers, That Pizza Guy also makes a great addition to your classroom reading collection. It's a sweet, timeless story, perfect for families, classrooms, and anyone looking for a gift that will be remembered for years. Order your copy right now on Amazon, That Pizza Guy, from author Paul F. Busutto Jr. in Kindle and paperback. Share a smile, share a story, and bring home That Pizza Guy on Amazon.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. Are you looking for a love story that will stay with you long after the last page? Then add A Little Longer, available on Amazon, to your must-read list. A Little Longer is the powerful debut novel from author K.L. Bauer. It's an emotional contemporary romance that's raw, beautiful, inspiring, and unforgettable. 3 broken souls, 2 tragic endings, 1 secret that could change everything. In A Little Longer, Joey is haunted by the sudden death of his brother. Poppy is drowning in grief she can't escape, and Otis has stopped searching for a reason to stay. A Little Longer is a heartfelt story about grief, love, friendship, and finding light in the darkest places. It's perfect for fans of emotional contemporary romance. Available now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. This book is also a great addition to your book club. Order your copy right now, A Little Longer, from author K.L. Bauer, on Amazon.
All right, we have about 30 seconds, and we'll be back. We're still in radio break. And I'll go back to the calls if you want to call in. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat. 20 seconds. Welcome, everyone. Please like the video if you've not already done that. That helps a lot. And if you could hype the video, that's even better. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Hour number 2 has begun. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. Talking about this treason that the media have been committing. My wife and I yesterday watched Melania, the movie. Melania, the movie is available on Amazon Prime now. And I saw it in the theater. You may remember, gave a review when it came out. And then my wife had not seen it. So it was on Amazon Prime. We watched it together yesterday. And when we went to watch it, Melania, it tells you the rankings, on Amazon when you pull it up. It was number 3 when we watched the movie. And when we finished watching it, I went to pull it up again just to read about it and see if there were any extras. It had moved up to number 1. And when I saw that it was number 3, my thought was, I'm going to have to tell people to go and watch it to make it number 1. But it went from number 3 to number 1 in, 2 hours on Amazon, which is a poll in itself. So if you've never seen it, you definitely want to see it. If you have seen it, watch it again and help give Melania the ratings. It's so good, that movie. I love the movie Melania, and I know a lot of you, when I gave a review of Melania after I saw it in the theater, you were telling me that you were going to wait till it's on Amazon. So I'd like to hear those of you that have seen Melania, give me your thoughts on it. I like the end at the inauguration. And you get to see some behind the scenes of the inauguration. And you get to see Biden and Kamala backstage right before they're called out, for the inauguration of President Trump. And you see Kamala Harris backstage. She is so angry. She's just fuming with rage that she lost. And for the life of me, her thinking she was going to win, when she, on top of the fact that President Trump's so popular and all that, but she skipped the primaries. But I love that part. That's one of my favorite parts, is the whole thing at the inauguration, and when they go back to the residence at the White House at the end of the night and all of that. It's a great movie, and it's certainly a historical piece that people will be watching in 200 years, but let's keep it number 1. I couldn't believe it went from number 3 to number 1 in 2 hours on Amazon. If that's not a poll, I don't know what is. Now, did you catch the president's speech and then press conference in Doral yesterday? It was very, very good. I watched both, and he was talking both in the speech and in the press conference not to call the voter ID bill the SAVE Act, call it the Save America Act. And all the polls show that even the majority of Democrats are in favor of it, right? Over 70% of African Americans are in favor of it. Over 80% of Latinos are in favor of it. Over 80% of Americans on a whole are in favor of it. I think 83% of Americans on the whole are in favor of the Save America Act. And the Democrats in Congress, of course, are opposed to it. And President Trump said again yesterday he's not going to sign any legislation until they pass the Save America Act. And he also made a big deal of saying, call it the Save America Act, which I'm going to do moving forward. And President Trump knows about marketing and branding and such. How could anyone be opposed to state-issued photo ID being required to vote, or even a citizenship passage? In 2 weeks, we have our 10th annual MAGA cruise. Very excited. And by the way, guys, I want to remind you guys that if there's any major news breaking, we will do a live radio show from the cruise ship if the news requires it. So don't worry. And those of you that follow me on YouTube at Brian Craig Show, I'll be on there throughout the cruise. But I have my passport here, which shows that I'm a U.S. citizen. And have you ever had to go in the last few years since 9/11 to renew your driver's license in person? I've had to go a couple of times. You don't have to go as much as you used to, but I had to go a couple of times. And a few years ago, when my wife had to renew hers, we had to go in person to make sure that she kept her married name on the license, and we had to get our marriage license and such and take it down there. And we were in line. And here I'm in South Florida, and we were at the. This was a long time ago. We were at the driver's license renewal office in Coconut Creek. And there were a lot of people in line. And I was very, very surprised when people were in line. There were, in South Florida, we have a lot of Hispanics in line, right, with us. And you also have a lot of people from the Caribbean. I couldn't believe how many people had foreign passports in line. And anytime I could, I didn't have a passport. I didn't need my passport, but I would look and see, and it was Brazil and Venezuela, all these different passports, that I would see. And I was talking last week on the program, this passport that I have, when I first got this passport, was for a trip I took. I've renewed it since, but the first time I got a passport was about 20 years ago. Was the first time I had a passport, and I was going to South America with a friend of mine, and I didn't have a passport, and I didn't have my birth certificate, and I had to get my birth certificate, the original copy. It was very easy. It took a day, 2 days. I took all of that information. There was an office. I don't know where you would do this now, but I went in person. They had a passport office in Coral Springs, the city of Coral Springs. I don't know if they still have this because it's been a long time. But the city of Coral Springs had kind of like a little city hall kind of office at the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. And I went there and gave them all my information for my passport. That's how I got it. And then my daughter, the first time I got her a passport is when she went on our first MAGA cruise. Right? The 10th one's coming up for the first MAGA cruise. I did the same thing with her. I took my daughter with her birth certificate and everything else. And many of you know my daughter's adopted, so there's a little extra paperwork with that. And I took my daughter. Well, first we went to, I had to renew my passport then. So we went to CVS and got passport photos. And I got a great passport photo because I knew I was, my daughter, hers isn't as good because she didn't know. She didn't know, but they were taking it. But I was ready. I've got a great passport photo. But we went to CVS. My daughter and I got our pictures. Went to the Coral Square Mall, to the city of Coral Springs office they had there where you could do passports. And my daughter gave him the paperwork. Boom, boom, boom. And I filled it out with her because she was a minor at the time. And we got our passport. It's not that difficult to get your passport. Yeah, you got to go in person. Maybe you could do a lot of it by the mail these days and online, but it's not that difficult. So is there any Democrat out there that could explain to me why the Save America Act is a bad thing, requiring state-issued photo ID to vote? What is the argument against that? Because I've missed it. What is the argument to prove that you're a U.S. citizen before you get a voter registration? What is the legitimate argument against those two things? Could you tell me? Because I don't see, it's very easy to get passports. Very, very easy. One of the simplest things to do. And why, when I went in person to the driver's license office, why are there so many people there with passport? Our driver's licenses should say whether we are a citizen or not. Like when you are underage, your driver's license is different. Like I remember when I first got my driver's license, when I was in high school, I had a restricted driver's license and it said restricted on it. Yeah. And then when I got my regular operator's license, because I was under 21, it had a different background behind me. The background color on my driver's license was a different color. And then when I turned 21, I went down and got a new license because I wanted to get it. I got a blue black background when I turned 21, which shows that you're 21. So we have different types of driver's licenses for different ages. right? If you're under 21, you have a different one. If you have a restricted license, you're a different one. And a lot of people don't have driver's licenses, but they still go to the DMV to get a state-issued photo ID that's not a driver's license, but just a state-issued ID. What is the argument against this to vote? Is there anyone on the left who would dare to explain? And I'm very open-minded. Explain to me why we should not require state-issued voter ID and a citizenship requirement before you vote. Why should that not be the law of the land? I'm very open to hear. But I can't imagine that a Democrat would even attempt to tell us that the Save America Act is over the line and out of control. I mean, you can't fly without state-issued photo ID. You used to be able to. Does anyone remember when you could buy tickets you could buy an airline ticket, not go, and then sell it? People used to put ads in the newspaper in the classified sections to sell airline tickets. Remember when people used to do that? But after 9/11, you need state-issued photo ID to get on an airplane or a passport to get on an airplane to fly domestically. Try to get on an airplane without photo ID, government-issued photo ID. I never hear anyone talk about the civil rights being violated of people because they can't fly. Why is it only with voting that this comes up? I want to talk about Friendly Tire. Man, did Friendly Tire save me? You know, I thought I was going to need new tires, and nope, I just needed a simple repair. Just needed a new valve stem put on. You know, Friendly Tire does tire repairs. Other places don't. But, you know, it's going to be raining again this week, and we're going to get a lot of rain. Don't drive around on tires that don't have proper tread. All right? You're not doing yourself a favor. Before I found Friendly Tire in Margate, I'll be honest with you, I would drive on tires I shouldn't have been driving on. I was. But the tires are so low cost over at Friendly Tire. In fact, the first time I went to Friendly Tire with my Jeep Wrangler, I had the big oversized tires. The first couple times I went over there, I've been shopping for tires at Friendly Tire for, it's got to be 20 years now. The first time or two I went there, I remember I didn't know Mike yet. And he said, do you want new or used? I didn't even ask what the new tires were. I just said used because I thought that new tires were just so expensive. And the second or third time I went over there, I asked him to give me a price on the new tires. And when he told me, I was blown away at how low the prices are. You can get new tires, brand new, out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire at Friendly Tire. And remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance your tire, mount your tire, or dispose of your old tires. He has thousands of good used tires in stock for as low as $35 a tire, and that's out the door and on the road too. Give Friendly Tire a call. He's a good guy. He'll take extra good care of you. Make sure you tell him I sent you. He'll take extra good care of you if you do. 954-977-9445. Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire. We'll be right back.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. Let me just check the time. Caught me off guard. Okay, we got about 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Queuing something up.
Yeah, there was Jim with his wallet.
Hold on. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. All right, I'm a little disabled today. This is a bizarre disability to have while you're on the air, but yesterday I bit the back of my tongue. So I'm kind of like the talking wounded today. I know it sounds so, there's very few professions where biting your tongue and being in tongue pain can be difficult while you're working. This is one of them. The other ones I'm not going to list. Okay, you guys can figure out what those are yourself. So bear with me. Oh my goodness, I did gargle with some salt water. Salt water is the cure for so many ailments, and it did help a lot. But the effect of the salt water that I did right before I went on the air has worn off during the last break. Okay, so now let me get back to this. Yesterday, I went through, which was what I consider to be nothing short of just an extraordinary historic interview with Pete Hegseth on 60 Minutes. And he went through so many of the things that are going on in the news. Going on in Iran, and it was very, very good. And this woman that's taken over CBS News, Barry Weiss, I don't know too much about her. I do know that the liberals hate her in the media. The Trump haters hate her. I saw a story yesterday. It said another longtime CBS reporter has quit over Barry Weiss, and I never heard of the guy. The mainstream liberal media are what they are. You know this, okay? I don't have to tell you. I was talking at the beginning of the show about how the mainstream media are committing treason by giving hope to Iran. The mainstream media are trying to get a narrative going that Donald Trump in the United States launched a Tomahawk missile at this Iranian school, when all indications right now show that the Iranians did it. Whether the Iranians did it on purpose or not, I don't know. I saw a video on X today of the Tomahawk hitting the school, and there's it's really an interesting thing on social media. There's so many fact checkers and experts these days. And there's a lot of, you see these military experts and pundits on cable news, but the internet is filled with retired military that are experts on such things. And I've seen multiple former military people show the video of the Tomahawk hitting the school, and you can see it, and you can see where it's coming from and what direction it's coming from, and it gets over the school. If you go online and see the video, have you seen the actual video of the Tomahawk hitting the school? It's very strange. And it makes me believe that the school was a target, okay? Now, first of all the experts say that the direction that I've seen online, on X is filled with them, okay? I'm not talking about these jerks on TV. I'm talking about the ones on X. They're saying that the direction that the Tomahawk came from is the direction of where the Iranian bases are in rocket launchers, not where U.S. and Iranian forces were coming from. That's number one. The Tomahawk hit during the day. Remember, there were students at the school when it hit. So the Tomahawk, which the Iranians have, it's in the day. You can see it. It's low. When it gets over the school, it goes straight down. It's going straight, like low-level flying, but straight over the city. When it's over the school, it turns straight down, almost a complete 90-degree angle right down to the school. And I must tell you, now I'm no Tomahawk missile expert, but my immediate thought was either Iran targeted the school or it was an accident on their part, but probably targeted. If it was an accident and a crash of the Tomahawk, would it be flying straight and then do a 90-degree angle right over the school and hit it? Or is that how a Tomahawk targets? It looked targeted to me. And not just to me, other experts on X. And you guys can go and watch the actual footage on X, okay? But the media are trying to get this narrative going, that we hit the school. And if it was an American Tomahawk, it was coming from the wrong direction of U.S. forces, and it was an accident, okay? But the way that it comes over, boom, and then a 90-degree angle down, that to me, it looks like a target. Not an accident, not a crash of the Tomahawk, okay? And it is coming from the direction of the Iranian launchers, according to people that have watched the video analyzing the area. Well, anyway, yesterday I was talking about Pete Hegseth's interview on 60 Minutes, which was very good. They hate Bari Weiss because she's viewed as conservative, and a lot of them really hate her because she's Jewish, and they say she's pro-Israel. This is Megyn Kelly talking about the Pete Hegseth interview on 60 Minutes that I covered on the program yesterday.
You know what? Here's the thing. They do not give about misleading you over at CBS, the old CBS or the new CBS, which has a brand new agenda. The left will tell you that it's pro-MAGA. It's not pro-MAGA. Trust me. Watch 2 minutes of the evening news or the morning news. It is not pro-MAGA at all. But it is pro-Israel. Bari Weiss has finally achieved her dream of running a news network that will be entirely pro-Israel. This is not just me saying this. Everybody all over the internet who's been watching CBS is noting how unfair their coverage is on this. It is not.
Okay, this whole thing about Bari Weiss at CBS, I don't think they're conservative or MAGA, but they're reporting real news on occasion now. And you're so used to liberal, anti-American news, when you see real fair news reported, it seems conservative because you're so used to liberal bias, especially over at CBS. But with Megyn Kelly, this is hardcore anti-Semitism, hardcore bigotry, right? Because someone's a Jew, they're a disloyal American and pro-Israel. This is what happened with Kennedy, right? Oh, would he be loyal to the United States or to Rome, right? To the Catholic Church. The textbook anti-Semitism, textbook bigotry, yet again from Megyn Kelly, who's in bed with Tucker Carlson and Candace Goebbels Owens, okay? I just looked at the clock. I'm late for the break at the bottom of the hour, so I want to take that break. But first, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret, okay? I know a lot of people out there have, you've struggled with losing weight. Maybe you've been on a diet and either you weren't successful or you lost the weight and couldn't keep it off. I'm here to tell you that not only did I lose the weight, I've kept it off with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I eat foods I would normally eat. I was talking earlier, I bit the back of my tongue. I was eating jelly beans when I bit my tongue, okay? So, Right. So I'm eating stuff I like, and I'm not starving myself, and I'm not denying myself. I like jelly beans a lot. Okay, guys, jelly beans are very dangerous to have in the house. And I've still kept all the weight off. And I've done it without pills, without injections, without surgery, eating foods I would normally eat, and zero exercise. Zero exercise. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Now, I lost just over 35 pounds, which was more than my target. But if you want to lose 435 pounds or more or anywhere in between, they can help you do it. No matter where you're located in the United States, call and schedule your no-charge consultation right now with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, My Pillow mattresses and My Pillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
This is Jamie Lee back with Swift Tax. With the big, beautiful bill, I can help you with your federal, state, city, and income tax. The Treasury Secretary said that this year, taxpayers will be receiving the biggest refund they've had in years. We at Swift Tax will maximize your refund. Call me now, 954-773-1587. That number rings directly to my cell phone, 954-773-1587.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse? Weather, traffic, whatever. Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, laportaroofing.com. All right, we got a little more than a minute, and we'll be back.
I hope so.
Yeah, just over a minute. So hang in there.
Let me just take the book.
Okay, we've got a minute. We'll be back in a minute.
I got the card as the paper. Open it up.
About 20 seconds.
Hello.
Yeah, hold on. All right, and we are back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Steve back with us today. Hey, Steve.
How are you doing today?
All right. You've been off for a few days. A lot's happened since you were last here.
I've been off. Well, actually, I've spent most of that time figuring out what's going on, because a lot has happened, and it's really amazing. And it's interesting that we pick different things that we find interesting. But to me, the war's over.
Yes,
basically.
it is over.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Well, that's a major story, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's over.
I mean, that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that the mainstream media in general has not emphasized. I guess some of them have, but for the most part, they've not made that clear. The enemy, which is, of course, the Islamic side, is out of ammunition. They have no navy. They've got no missiles left.
No gas.
And they've got the oil markets cornered.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of a loser can you be? And they're sitting ducks. They got nowhere to go but down.
Yeah.
And of course, you'd think the Democrats, or you'd think the Republicans would be, since we all love peace, justice, and the American way, you'd think the Republicans would be more excited about it. But it's like a wake for the Republican politicians, because it means they're going to lose the midterm.
Well, we're not going to lose the midterms. What are you talking about?
No, they're going to lose the midterm.
Oh, the Democrats? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why the Republicans and the Democrats and the media aren't excited that the war's over. It's simple. You know why?
Yeah, they're rooting against us.
Yeah, we won. That's why they're mad. The Republicans you're talking about, they're military industrial complex donors. They're upset that the war didn't last long enough for them to cash in. But and the left, they're upset that we won. And
of course,
and if you listen to the liberal press, I saw some of them yesterday questioning, Trump. Did you see Trump's press conference in Miami yesterday?
I did not see that one. I was out of gas by that time.
Well, so's the media. Okay, and they've had the same story. They've been trying to get a false narrative. I opened the show with this. I've talked about it a lot on the program. There's two stories involving the war that the media are going with. One, they're trying to blame the United States for the Tomahawk missile hitting this school in Tehran. That's number one. They want to call President Trump and the United States kitty killers.
Well, that's an exercise in futility. They're not going to manage to pull that off.
Well, they've been trying hard since Saturday. President Trump had multiple questions about it yesterday in the press conference in Doral.
And I'm sure he handled them all with great aplomb.
Yeah. I mean, also, I don't know if it's 8 or 9, but we've lost either 8 or 9 service personnel.
8.
8, okay. Which is sad. I mean, it's, any losses. In the media, they keep asking President Trump, how many are you willing to lose before you pull? They want us to surrender to Iran after losing 8 service personnel. Which
they're trying to.
I mean, come on.
As a loss.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
They want us to pull out and surrender because we've lost 8 people. Now, we don't want to lose anyone.
It's not playing. It's not playing.
No. Well, no. But, we don't want to lose anyone. But losing 8 against a country like this in a hot war is... And that was just a lucky strike that the Iranians got in the opening days, because the 8th person passed away from injuries sustained from... They were all killed in the same attack when they hit that base. And the last one that passed away died from injuries in that first attack. They got one lucky shot, and they want us to surrender, the media, over one lucky shot.
But that's a joke. It's not going to happen.
No, but they
not
keep
as
asking.
Long as Donald Trump is president.
No, but they keep asking. It's so bizarre to me. And I don't know if the media are self-aware enough to understand how they sound and look.
You want the answer? You want to know what the answer is in a word? The thing you've forgotten? They're liberals.
Yeah.
They're liberals. They don't see the world through a realistic lens.
Yeah, obviously.
And it never has it been clearer than this.
Mm-hmm.
And who I feel bad for is the people in New York. My God, with that
Muslim mayor?
Miami.
Muslim mayor?
And you know who is as bad as Miami? The wife.
Oh yeah,
what a piece of work she is.
They're trying to turn her into a sex symbol.
She's pretty sexy.
Depends. You haven't seen the camera angle where you see her full face. There's she has one of the largest noses in the city of New York. It's not very if you catch her on a certain angle, you don't see the size of the nose, but it's rather large.
A Persian nose.
No, I've seen a lot of these Persian Iranian women celebrating, doing the Trump dance, over the war. They don't have noses like that. Maybe the ones that have the noses like that usually have their face covered with the whatever that thing
but
is.
Anyway, no schmoes is not going to win them a war. In fact, I think they're going to end up with more trouble than they ever dreamed of in New York. And I think the wife's an instigator.
Well, they just had an Islamic terror attack attempt in New York City by these ISIS guys that were, and Mamdani is saying that it was a white supremacist event where the Islamic almost really a justification for what the Islamic terrorists were attempting to do.
But if you project from that, where the direction we're heading in, at the rate we're heading in it, you see that there's big trouble lying ahead. Because what she does is stir up the emotions.
Well, she liked those posts. She liked those posts on Instagram celebrating the October 7th attack on Israel.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Democratic politicians, the hardcore liberal ones, finally have to say something when that happens.
Yeah.
But it's creating a tinderbox.
Well, last night they had Ramadan dinner at Gracie Mansion. Isn't that nice? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. It is hard. I wonder if he was eating with his fingers again, Mamdani. He likes to eat with his fingers.
But what's interesting is to watch the fact that the guys want something to call in on. The statements that are coming out of them in lieu of what's going on in New York, and she's playing the innocent game, but they're cooked. When you got no bullets left, it's not a good thing.
Are you talking about with the wife? Well, Mamdani came out and said, "I was elected, not my wife. She's not a public person."
Yeah.
Give me a break.
We all believe that. So was Eva Braun.
Yeah, exactly. Eva Braun, exactly. Goebbels' wife, Mrs. Goebbels. Yeah, no, that's just the wife. She had nothing to do with all that Holocaust stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, give me a break. And I was talking about this yesterday. When hold on, Steve. Let me answer these calls that are coming in. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to go to the phones after the break, okay? Because we don't have enough time to have a conversation with you. We're up against the break. But well, anyway, let me just take the break, Steve, and then we'll continue when we get back, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. All that's going on now with the gas prices. I saw some gas over $5 a gallon at the gas pump. That wasn't regular. Regular, I've seen over $4 lately. You see all these stories about the stock market and what's happening in the market. If you're invested in annuities with Jupiter Joe Thomas, none of these things affect you because no matter what happens with the market, your nest egg is safe. And guess what? You're guaranteed a revenue stream each and every month. You get that mailbox money check in the mail. Steve, I talked to one of our listeners who's a retired police officer, and he has a pension, has a good pension and all that, but he retired back in the early 90s. And he's lived so long, he's outlived the expectation of the pension. So the pension wasn't enough. He invested into annuities, and that money that he gets every month for the rest of his life from his annuities has doubled his retirement, doubled his income. Give Joe Thomas a call, no matter where you're located, and schedule your no-charge consultation. All right, Joe put together a custom proposal just for you. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. Call us on hold. Don't go anywhere. We'll take our last break of the hour. We'll come back with Steve Kane and your calls after this. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be back in a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
On the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how...
With all the paperwork, and you straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com.
All right, we got about 30 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. It's the Steve Kane Show. Call is on hold. Stand by. You said during the break, Steve, you want to put out a call for New Yorkers to call in.
Yeah, I would like to find out what it's like on the streets now, whether the 6 months or how long since he's been in office.
Seems like 6 years.
Who?
Mamdani. It seems, this...
You're talking about coming up 6 years.
You know what I don't get about this? And New Yorkers, by the way, is that current New Yorkers, or can it be like transplants to Florida?
Those who can comment on I don't care about the transplant to Florida so much, but I'd like to know what those people are now that he's been elected and they've had a little taste of him, how they feel about the future prospects for New York, and have those views on the future become less enthusiastic based on Mamdani's performance so far.
Yeah, and those out there who thinks that Trump should continue to negotiate with the Iranian, I want you to think about it. There was an Islamic terrorist attack attempt in New York City over the weekend, right? Down the street from the governor's mansion. New York
Right.
City just elected a Muslim mayor who has a Muslim wife who just had Ramadan dinner at Gracie Manor with that Syrian guy from Columbia University that was trying to start a revolution that
Well,
Trump wanted to deport.
Those are all exposable things that you mentioned, and of course, are very important. But the question is the Muslim presence growing
Absolutely,
at
it
an
is.
accelerated rate? Well,
It
that's
You know, like
you know.
I'm going to tell you, Steve. This Ramadan, there's a Mamdani says there's 1 million Muslim New Yorkers. You know, like when I was young and I was in elementary school in Columbus, Ohio, we didn't get out of school. Now, this may have changed since. This was a long time ago. We didn't get out of school for the Jewish holidays. And when I moved to Florida, we were getting out of school for the Jewish holidays. Do you know? And I'm sure, you know, there was a good, why, you know why we didn't get out of school for the Jewish holidays in Columbus,
Well,
Ohio?
yeah.
There's no Jews at the
Columbus.
Columbus.
That would account for it.
Well, a couple lawyers and accountants and a doctor or two. But other than that, there weren't enough Jews to justify. But when I moved to Florida, I didn't even, you were getting out of school for the Jewish holidays. Fine with me. And, you know, so when you live in different parts of the country, certain things like the Jewish holidays in Florida, we didn't get out, you know, now they may get out for the Jewish holidays in Columbus, Ohio now. That was a long time ago, guys. But it's because the demographic down here, right? Because we have we have the second largest Jewish population in the world in South Florida, right? And so you got Jewish students,
And
Jewish
we have
teachers.
Donald Trump too.
Yeah, but in New York, now that they're openly celebrating so much, like you have changed. All right, you want to take some calls?
Yeah, let's hear from New Yorkers.
Well, I don't know. They're screenless. I'm not vouching for the location nor the quality, but let's find out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? See what I mean? There you go. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. I want to say another couple things too. I put out a call earlier, Steve. The Save America Act, the photo ID to vote, and President Trump said twice again yesterday what he said over the weekend. President Trump said that he will not sign any legislation until the Senate passes the Save America Act. And they're going to have to pass it just based on that, right? Because the Congress can't pay back their donors if they don't pass legislation, right? They pay off their donors through the legislation, all the earmarks in the legislation. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Thune said that the filibuster stands, we're going to need 60 votes. I don't think that's going to stand. He's going to stick with that for a while to save face. But we're in an election year, and in an election year, the members of both houses of Congress, they can't get donations if they can't pay back the donors. So there's going to be a major push, Steve, even maybe by some Democrats, to pass the Save America Act because President Trump's not signing anything and until they do. But I put out a call earlier. I'd like to hear one Democrat make a case, and maybe we could agree, Steve, not to give them a hard time about it. Explain to us why photo ID to vote is a bad thing. A legitimate reason, okay? So the number's 888.
There is no legitimate reason. The only reason is a bad reason, which is they want to cheat.
But I can't think of another reason. Yeah, you know, and yeah, but maybe we just haven't thought of it. Maybe we got a liberal in the audience who has a legitimate reason. All right, let's go back to the callers on hold. Stand by. The number's 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I can't think of another reason. You're on the air.
Hello, this is Donna.
Yes, Donna.
Hi. I was just wanting to comment. I mean, obviously. Hello.
Yeah.
I was just going to comment on the whole Ramadan ending in March 19th. I'm just curious if there are any thoughts as to the fact that some of the maybe sleeper cells are waiting till after Ramadan to have any sort of response.
That's a possibility, but I doubt it because I think.
Well, it depends what you call a response.
Talking about domestic sleeper cells.
You'll get sleeper cells. Cells, they're not waiting for anything beyond Ramadan, but the movement is growing and becoming more extreme, and that's going to continue.
Iran is too desperate to wait until March 19th.
Oh yeah.
So
they have no. What was I going to say? They have no
time to waste.
Ammunition.
Yeah.
Ammunition.
Well,
no boats and no missiles.
Well,
that makes it tough.
A story came out yesterday, which I don't agree is true, that they've activated their sleeper cells around the world to do attacks.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. I think they would have we'd already be seeing it.
Yeah, I hope so. It concerns me that, hopefully that's on the radar too.
Now, I wouldn't fly right now. I wouldn't go to the airport and fly right now, anywhere.
Yeah.
No. Would you, Steve? Would you fly?
No.
Not this week.
No.
Not this week. No.
No.
I had a friend that was caught by this whole thing unawares on a vacation in the Bahamas. But and my daughter in England got a message from the British government that there's a terror alert, they call it.
Yeah, the terror alert's probably a warning about the United States and Trump, since they're a Muslim country now in England. All right, hey, listen, appreciate the call. After the top of the hour, we'll take some more calls. No, we got time for another one. You want to take another call, Steve?
Sure.
Okay, we got time for another one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, sorry about earlier. This is Brandon. I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay, Wisconsin.
So the thing about the Iranian, in my opinion, and I'm a Trump supporter, I've been so since
Oh, here we go.
Don't think
You've been a Donald Trump. You've got a very bad phone, but I got to hear. I'm going to attempt to keep you on for a moment. You've been a Donald Trump supporter. Skip to the butt part. You were a Donald Trump supporter till when?
high school.
But,
I've been so since high school.
Yeah, and are you still a Trump supporter?
Pretty much. It's just some stuff I don't like that he's doing, including this war we're in, because it's now causing prices to go up. I've seen a gas station yesterday was a $3.11 a gallon, and I think he promised to have.
What are you so worried about a war in which the enemy has no boats, no planes, and no ammunition, and no oil, no access to oil? Does that sound like a fight you're afraid of? Hello,
like
caller.
the price of everything is.
The price of gas?
The price of everything going up.
It's going to be high for a couple of days.
Than gas and missiles.
Yes, exactly. Or getting nuked. I mean, what good are low gas prices if you're nuked? Radiated.
The economy's in great shape. Everything's doing fine.
Yeah.
And there's nothing these guys, with all their contacts in the press, there's nothing these guys can do to stop it.
Exactly.
And that's why there's an old saying we used to have when I was a kid, when you were wrestling with a youngster your own age, it'd say you should forgot.
Well, the thing is that from Iranian's history, they've been saying this for years and years, and it's just never happened.
In fact, we blew up their nuclear reactor, and then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Iran told Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of the president, that they have, I can't remember the exact amount of enriched uranium, and they also said they have a God-given right to have nuclear weapons, and they're going to continue to develop them. So, so what are we supposed to do? Wait until they have the bomb and then go in? That doesn't sound very smart.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'd say like not to get ourselves.
I got to tell you, how old are you?
26, 27.
You need to butch up and man up, all right? You know, a little bit of gas prices for a couple of weeks, and you get ready to surrender and lose a war. You need to man up and butch up, Snowflake, all right? Thanks for the call. All right, Steve, we're approaching the top of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll get back to the calls after the top of the hour break. All right, I'm going to put everybody on hold. Our number is 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Be back with your calls and more after this.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Okay, you there? Yeah, okay. We got about 30 seconds, so hang in there. Okay. All right. And I'm way behind on spots. Steve, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, 15 seconds. All right, we're back. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve Kane is here. My name is Brian Craig. Every line on the board is lit. Before we go to the phones, though, I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton and his robotic laser away pain treatment. Now, you guys have heard me talk many times about how it rids you of every type of pain I've ever heard of, and he's rid me of pain 7 times. But I want to just talk for a moment about how the robotic laser with Dr. Appleton works. I leave robotic off a lot, and I shouldn't, because the robotic laser, it actually moves around the area that's being treated. As an example, I'll use my knee, but this can be true of any body part. Dr. Appleton is very skilled, and he's able to determine exactly where the pain is coming from, and that's where the laser away pain treatment, which is completely painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening, he targets that area. But the robotic laser moves. So the knee, it moves around the entire knee, and this could be any body part, the top, the sides, the back of the knee, the other side, the top again. So the entire area is being treated, and what the robotic laser does is repair the damage that's causing you the pain. There's no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime, and no appointment necessary. Walk-ins are always welcome, even on Saturdays. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, let's go to the phone, Steve, all right?
Yep.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Sherry from Texas.
Hey, Sherry.
I'm listening to all these callers calling in, And everybody, the only thing they have to complain about is, oh my gosh, the gas prices are soaring. They don't bother slowing down their thought process because they're so impulsive on, oh, hold on a second. And so there is a method to his madness, right? Let's take a look at the history here. And let me tell you, if it's only gas prices that are increasing for a short period of time, if you can't afford the gas, then learn how to ride a bike.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
Or hop on a bus. Okay? Pull your panties up. Be a big boy. You know? Quit whining and crying over increasing. Find something else that's credible and worth complaining about. Or better yet, if you don't like what's going on and what the U.S. is doing or what Trump's doing to save America, then pack your bags and go over there.
Well, first of all,
Right?
everything you said's right. I may add a couple things to it. Number one, I've been talking all for the last week. What's going on here is price gouging. The gasoline at your local gas station was refined with oil before this even began. So your local gas stations are just raising the prices and blaming the war. Number two, President Trump in his press conference yesterday announced something. I've heard him say this 3 times, and it's amazing. Do you know that President Trump has first off, the reason we sunk the Navy is so they couldn't attack the tankers, okay, in the Straits of Hormuz. Right. So the tankers are fine, and President Trump, the United States as a nation, is personally insuring all the oil tankers that go through the Strait of Hormuz. So we're insuring it. So if your tanker gets hit, the United States government's going to cover you for it. The whole thing. President Trump personally guaranteed that yesterday, the good faith and credit of the United States. That's pretty amazing. So the prices are just your local gas station ripping you off.
And it's just like down in Virginia, Brian, when you guys have a hurricane, price gouging.
Correct.
Look at all the hurricanes and people raise, 24, 36 pack of water for $25.
Well, you're not allowed to do that. When there's hurricanes coming, price gouging is illegal. But the gas station people seem to get away with it during these times. But they don't raise the prices during hurricanes. That's against the law.
But now the thing that you mentioned also is to Save America Act, right? You've got, Schumer, the rat, that is saying, we're not going to sign it. We're not going to sign it. Well, Trump says, you know what? That's fine. We can do the tit for tat. You don't want to vote for it. You want to reject it because all you want to do is allow the illegals to vote. So, because you guys can't win any other way, because all you do is take and steal from the American people, the hardworking U.S. citizens, right?
Yep.
All their tax dollars.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So you don't want that.
And believe me, these people, when push comes to shove, do not want to muck about with Donald Trump.
Nope.
Exactly. So this is a matter of a tug of war, and let's see who's got the stronger arm, right?
I got to tell. Well, the reason I asked that guy how old he was, he's 25, 26, whatever. I don't know. Is that a Gen Z? What a bunch of snowflakes that don't understand sacrifice at all. I mean, gas goes up 50 cents a gallon. They want to surrender a war to the Ayatollah Khomeini. I mean, what a wimp. Butch up.
Until the billions of lands on their doorstep, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or an illegal ends up murdering one of their children or their parents, and then it's like, oh, God mighty, please come help, right?
Yes.
So help me make sense of that.
Exactly.
Right? It's just you can't.
You can't.
Thank
all right.
you.
Great call. Thank you so much for your call. Yeah. So it's nice. We have some people out there, Steve, that have some sense, right? If you're on hold, stand by. I got a message from one of our cruisers. The 10th annual MAGA cruise is coming up in a couple of weeks. And I've been telling... Yeah, it is. It's right around the corner. And the ship's sold out, guys. I'm sorry. There's no cabins. I check in with Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot every couple of days. Is there any No cabins left. Not only that, there was somebody in my family who wanted to come. I couldn't get them a cabin. I mean, so I can't, it's sold out. But anyway, I've been telling people that, here we are. It's spring break time. We've got our cruise coming up. Summer vacations will be here before you know it. And I've been telling people that it makes a lot of sense during this time of year, before you take that vacation, to go to Life Imaging FLA and get the scan done. And make sure you're in tip-top healthy heart shape before you go. And actually, I got a call from one of our MAGA cruisers yesterday. Not going to say who, but they're going over to Life Imaging FLA and having the heart scan done. They want to have the heart scan done before they leave the country with us on the cruise, and that's a great idea. Life Imaging FLA have locations in Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and just say free heart scan. You will be connected in seconds. All right. Our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Every line on the board is lit. So if you call in now, you're going to get a busy signal. But we'll take some of these calls. But I do want to emphasize, Steve had asked to put a call out to New Yorkers currently living in New York City. And we have a lot of listeners in New York City, Steve. Outside of Florida, New York City, we have more listeners in New York City than anywhere else outside the state of Florida, around the country and the world. So
I'd like to narrow the question down in terms of feeling comfortable in your own city if you're a New Yorker, as opposed to a year ago or 2 years ago.
Because of Mamdani?
Yes. Well, it's not limited to Mamdani. He's a good symbol, but I mean this Muslim mentality that seems to be taking over certainly New York, if not the country at this point.
Yeah.
I'd like to find out how bad it's getting, or if it's maybe not so bad, maybe we don't have to cause for this urgent alarm.
No, well, they did have an attempted ISIS Islamic terrorist attack over the weekend, so that would alarm me. You know, and they wanted the attack to be bigger than the Boston bombing, and that was pretty massive. All right, I'm going to put you and everyone on hold here. And, okay, are you back with me, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we got time to take one or two calls before we take our next break, so let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Well, that's close to New York.
A ray of sunshine on an otherwise dark day.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We all could say it like that. It's a dark day every day since this started. Let me start with you, Ryan. I just heard.
Why don't you start with trying to start a world war when your side doesn't have access to ammunition, oil, or all the necessities that are treated in Army and Navy? You know, the traditional things that people usually go into wars with that you don't have because Donald Trump has outplayed you. How about that?
Well, you know, all of that's well and good if this war was necessary, Steve. So that's if you're talking if this war was necessary. It wasn't necessary. Okay? You started that part, so let's go with that part. You said it.
You've only seen the beginning of it. Wait till you stick around for dessert.
But you don't realize, you know what the dessert could be from what y'all seem to think is dessert?
Nuclear radiation and fallout?
No, I'm talking about when they start striking back over here. We all don't forget 9/11. You two must forget. Okay, you said you.
When you say when we strike back, who are you referring to?
Why won't you?
Who are you? I just want to clarify that. When you said we, referring to the Muslim terrorists, who are you referring to?
Oh, I'm not Muslim, so I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about the Muslims.
Oh, you didn't deny it. Okay, you're just a regular terrorist.
Clarify. If you stop talking long enough, let me say something. I'm clarifying to the fact that when them crazy Muslims decide to want to come over here and start blowing up stuff, because they're really pissed at us
Didn't you see they tried to in New York over the weekend, and Donald Trump stopped them?
That was two stupid guys.
Oh, just two stupid guys from ISIS. Yeah.
Yeah, ISIS, and they did some stupid mess.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, they didn't.
Some people did some things. Oh my goodness. Some people did some things. Real quick, Jay, we're up against a break.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Why would you talk about that woman's nose when yours looks like the back of somebody's butt? Your nose looks like you crazy, and you talking about someone else's nose. Have you taken a look
How
at
are you?
yours?
How are you so familiar with what the back of butts look like?
Because I have a butt, and your
And you,
nose
but how do
looks
you
like
see
one.
it? How do you see it? It's in your back.
Tell me how do I see it?
Do you look at your
Now,
butt in
now
the
you gotta
mirror?
regard it.
Do you look at your
Now you
butt in
gotta-
the? You said
Okay,
other
you know
people's
what?
butts.
You know
So
what?
what are you
We're
doing that you're
up
looking
against
at
the break.
naked butts all the time?
This call is rapidly deteriorating.
I think it deteriorated as soon as I said, "What's your name? Where you're calling from?" And he said, "This is Jay from Jersey." That was the beginning of the end. Oh my goodness! Why is it? I don't. Boy, oh boy. Coastal weight loss secret. You know, I'm so excited. I can't wait, Steve, to get one of our shore excursions on our cruise is to a hotel beach resort, which we have access not just to the private beach of the hotel. This is in the Dominican Republic. But we have access to the pools of the resort hotel, and get this, Steve, we have access to all the bars and all the booze you could drink in the bars of the hotel too. You should come along with this shore excursion, Steve. It's going to be a great time. But we're going to be on the beach, and I'm going to be in my swimwear, and I'm going to be a lot smaller than I was on our last cruise, thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know, I had started Coastal Weight Loss Secret before our last cruise. I had lost about 25 pounds. I've lost over 35 pounds in total. I've kept it all off, and you can too. We have listeners, Steve, all over the United States that have called Coastal Weight Loss Secret and have lost weight just like I have and kept it off. Sometimes couples, men, women, people from all over the United States have literally, not figuratively, literally lost a ton of weight. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, all right? Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, we have about a minute. All right, hold on. I'm going to
Okay.
see if I can conference Steve in. Hold on. All right, Steve, are you there? Oh, boy. Okay. Steve, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to do Barry without you. I just can't get you to conference in with him, so I'll be with you in a couple minutes, okay? Hold on. Okay, Barry, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we got about 20 seconds. Stand by. All right, welcome back. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Brian, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just was reading in the news a few minutes ago, so this is breaking news, so I don't expect anybody to know about this, including you, but Gene Hackman's estate is back in the news, and there's a big fight going on with his kids over, I guess, the family of the dead wife, the stepmother, over the fortune. It's amazing when people don't have things set up, Attorney Barry Siegel, the mess that is left behind.
For sure. That's why it's so important to plan ahead. There's a lot of reasons people do that. I mean, certainly just making sure everything goes according to their wishes, but also to keep family harmony. These are the exact things that people want to avoid by doing proper planning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what do you have for us this morning, Barry?
Well, this morning I was going to ask people to, imagine if your children are married or get married someday, and they receive your inheritance while they're married. Now, what's going to happen then? Is your future ex-son-in-law or future ex-daughter-in-law going to walk away with half of it? The answer is probably, unless one of two things. Either A, did they do a prenuptial agreement before they got married, or did you set things up properly in your estate plan to help avoid that? Now, the prenuptial agreement, that's something, that's what we would call, in this case, the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But now you're going to rely on them to do the right thing and to plan ahead and have to deal with that. Whereas you could set up your estate plan so that when you leave your assets to your child, who has almost a 60% chance of getting divorced, if they get a divorce, you could set it up in a way where those assets stay with your child and do not become part of the marital estate and do not get split with your future ex-son-in-law or future ex-daughter-in-law, and that money stays in your family, goes to your children, and then eventually anything left goes to your grandchildren. So with proper planning, you can protect the assets that you've worked your whole life for, saved for your whole life, and make sure it stays in your family.
And, there's another level to that, too, that if your surviving spouse remarries with a revocable living trust and bloodline planning, you can make sure that your kids and grandkids get the estate, not the kids and grandkids of your husband's next husband, or your wife, your widow wife's next husband and his family, or your husband's new wife's family as well. And that's another nightmare situation that you cover people on, Barry.
Right. Well, yeah, there are many ways to set things up to avoid those kinds of issues that none of us are really even thinking about. Mm-hmm. And that's why you come to an experienced estate planning attorney, because we see the issues that come up and we can help you prepare to make sure that those things don't happen to you and your family. Yeah, listen, call the Siegel Law Group. Make sure you mention you heard Barry on the program so you can take advantage of the no-charge in-office consultation. Here's the number, toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. All right, great. Thank you. All right, take care. All right, give him a call, guys. All right, Steve, you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, I was just talking with Attorney Barry Siegel. We were talking about bloodline planning. All right. Do you want to go back to the phones?
Sure.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, my name is Chris, and I'm from Arizona.
All right, Chris, put your mouth closer to the phone and speak up.
All right, cool. Sorry, I'm on my headphones.
Yeah, Arizona. You got a real scumbag governor out there. Yesterday, the governor of Arizona refused to... what was it? They were naming something after Charlie Kirk, and she vetoed it. I mean, just petty.
Oh yeah, really? The highway, yeah.
Yeah, just petty. A road. They were naming a road after Charlie Kirk, and that scumbucket governor you have vetoed it. I mean, how petty can a person be?
So disrespectful. But yeah, I just wanted to call in because I really like the show. I've been watching for a long time. I like what the previous caller said about slowing down your thoughts. I think we're thinking too much and too fast, and it's really making Trump look bad. So I think we've got to slow down our brains.
What's making Trump?
Last time I called here, I was asking about the Eastman memos, and you really didn't like me explaining that to your audience, so you banned me like a snowflake.
The Eastman. Today's not open phones. Today is not open phones.
Okay. Here.
You're not banned. You're on the air now.
Voter ID though. I mean, I'm banned in your chat, so yeah.
You're not banned. You're on the air now. You're not banned. I don't even know who you are.
I am banned from your chat, brother, and
not by me. I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to get banned.
Yeah, exactly. He likes to be a victim.
Let me answer your voter ID question. So you're asking why is it a bad idea to have voter ID?
No, I think it's a great idea. I want a liberal to tell us why it's wrong to require state-issued photo ID to vote.
Let me just put it in the detail here. In other words, as a liberal, you support the voter ID. Well, what is the argument in your head as why it's necessary? Why is it that black people aren't smart enough to
hold on.
apply?
First off, how do you go to vote in your state? You have to submit your proof of residency or a driver's license. Or
well, when I show up and vote, when I show up and vote in person, I have to show my state-issued photo ID, my driver's license, or my passport. I show my driver's license, and then I have to sign, and they check and make sure that my signature matches what's on my ID.
Oh, so is that the whole stipulation that you want to?
No, you must have to have to register to vote. To register to vote, you must have state-issued photo ID. Yeah, and have state-issued photo ID to register to vote.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all done through the voter registration per state, so I'm pretty sure we already have voter ID.
No.
Honestly, like I said,
you don't need. Excuse me. You don't need voter ID to register to vote. They register people in parking lots, okay, with no ID, okay, or so you don't need ID to register. And in many states, you don't need ID to vote. Some states you do, and in Democrat states you don't.
The Democrats aren't smart enough to fill out a application for voters.
My address. That's amazing. I didn't know I could do that today. That's sick. I'm going to do that, so I can vote for the next.
All right, you're just babbling and saying nothing. I don't know if you're not banned as far as I know, but you should be because you suck as a caller.
He's working on it.
I mean, you got nothing to say, and you're mumbling. The Eastman Act.
Let's see if I can just put it.
I moved on. He's not there. I moved on from him. I got a full board. Well, you can still do it. He's just not there.
Well, he's not the fun of any closers when you ask him a question that they can't answer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But anyway, that's okay.
Save it for the next. I'm sure we'll have another liberal dope at some point in the future.
There's not a shortage.
That's for sure. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. IB in Broward. Hi.
Hey, IB. What's up?
Hey, Steve, old chum. How you been?
Oh, chum.
Good.
Man, that 29-year-old or 26-year-old just kind of brought everything back to when Biden was in power. No one called in complaining about egg prices, or they didn't complain until Trump came back into power about due process. The media's always going to throw them whatever it is. Brian has a great memory. If we go back to the Gaza war, when the missile or whatever it was, the rocket hit the hospital, what did the media do? Off the rip, the first thing they did.
Yes, blame the Jews. They blame the Jews right away. Right. Yeah.
Now, when it was found out what the reality was, the media dropped it. This is exactly what Ben from Pompano said. They always will just never talk about it, never retract until they are forced by lawsuit or potential lawsuit. It's the only reason when they do that. So what they do, they implanted that seed, never talked about it again, moved on to the other thing to keep those same people hooked, those same dummies like that 26-year-old that called, and so people like Dave from Jersey. So what is the next move for them? Well, okay, here's the new thing. Well, you know what? Our cruise missiles is accounted for.
Well, if you're asking a question, I'd like to have a chance to answer it because the answer is worth note. Then the next move for them is to sit there and wait till we blow them the hell out of the desert. Because that's what happens when you're armed and your opponents are not armed.
We know that these Muslim terrorists have a history of not only hiding behind civilians, using their homes and their whatever, where they store the rockets and whatever, using hospitals and office buildings. If this one thing was an accidental thing from either the Jews or the Americans, cannot a weapon go bad once in a while? If if it is us once they bring everyone in for?
Oh, you're talking about the
debriefing?
school?
We're-
Yeah.
we're-
If the school was a U.S. Tomahawk that we launched, it was an accident, no question. But I saw the strike. I saw the strike, and a lot of experts are saying the direction it came from was from the Iranian army, not where our forces were. And I saw the strike. It was during the day. It's flying low, and then boom, straight down to the school. It looked like a target to me. I'm so behind on our breaks. I got to run. Thank you for the call. I'm gonna put you, Steve, and everyone on hold. All right, and I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. Joe Thomas is. He has over 30 years of experience. So don't take any advice from me. Call Joe Thomas. Schedule your no-charge consultation. But you know, there's one thing I do know this. There's a lot of investment vehicles out there. You got your 401k, you got a brokerage account. There's a whole bunch of them, right? And I understand that, you know, you're accumulating and building up money with your 401k, with your brokerage account. But when you get into retirement, you don't want to nibble away at that, because if you start nibbling away at your 401k or brokerage account, you're taking money from your principal. You don't want to do that, okay? You want to get that money working for you. And that's what you can do with an annuity. You can take your brokerage account, you can take your 401k, talk to Joe Thomas, and switch it over to an annuity, or take part of it and put it into an annuity. And instead of chipping away at your nest egg, at your principal, have that money working for you and get that guaranteed income every month for the rest of your life. Call Joe Thomas, schedule your no-charge consultation. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. If you missed the number, you can just go to his website and get it there, jupiterjoe.com. All right? Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. There's one opening on the board at 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back with your calls and Steve Kane after this. All right, Steve, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're in break. So, okay, what do I got left? I've got to do. Okay, we got the gold reports, and we've got. Okay.
These liberals got a lot stored up.
Yeah, I just got behind.
Too bad their army doesn't have a lot stored up.
Yep, yeah. 3. Okay, we got about 2 minutes. It's amazing. Some guy thinks he's banned, and we wouldn't even know who he is. You know, we're going around. I mean, give me a break. I mean, yeah, but the people that are banned, there's a small handful of them. Believe me, we know who they are. I mean, my goodness. And you have to do a lot to get banned from this program. Oh my goodness.
Did you hear the gold report today?
That's the next break.
Oh.
About 10, 15 minutes.
Try to get it on the air if you can. I'm always curious.
I'm trying. Okay, we got a little more than a minute.
Oh.
Mr. President.
All right, 30 seconds. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. I'm Brian. Oh, Steve, I not sure if I told you, but the radio station has given me some equipment in case there's a major breaking news story. When we're on the cruise, we can broadcast live from the ship and take calls.
Oh, that would be
They gave me
exciting.
equipment. We could take calls. So if there's a major event in the war, guys, we will be here. We'll be live. And but warning, I do have the premium drink package. So, but seriously speaking, we don't normally do this, okay? And for the first time, I take equipment where I can live stream on YouTube and podcast, but I'm taking equipment where we can broadcast on the program in case there's major breaking news involving the war, and that's something we don't normally do. But we are doing that for you, and whether or not we broadcast on the air during the cruise depends on the news, right? Okay.
That's true.
You want to go back to the phones?
Sounds good.
We'd have to do it from your cabin, Steve, because you have like the biggest cabin on the ship, the Thurston House Suite. I mean, it's you got a massive cabin. Me, I'm down with the crew in steerage. You know. All right, let's. Steve's like Billy Zane. I'm like Jack. Okay. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian. This is Richie. Hey, Rich. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I want to ask you a professional question, Steve. But first, I want to give you an observation. In New York City, the guy on the megaphone was a comedian, and he was yelling on his megaphone, we welcome everybody, everyone to New York. Everyone's allowed. But he was against Jake Lang, who's not a white supremacist, a mayor lied. He's a white Christian who promotes being white. And he was attacking the religion, not the race. This guy has black supporters. He's got Latin supporters. He's an American white Christian, and he's saying we're being taken
well. You know what,
over.
Richie? I'm glad Mamdani said what he said because he's a racist. He's an Islamic supremacist, and he doesn't like white people. And to him and to Mamdani, all white people are white supremacists. All.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Now that grenade, whatever it was, that explosive device was thrown directly at Jake Lang. They tried to kill him in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He went to Minnesota. He takes his life all the time. He marched in Detroit and Michigan against the Muslims.
Yes.
So, and he's not a white supremacist. Let's get that out of the way. Now, then the mayor comes out with this statement that attacks the white supremacist, but basically says, nothing about the jihadi. That the guy.
No,
said.
he's mad at the guy with the megaphone, not the guy with the bomb, right?
Right. Now the question I got to ask Steve, and Steve, this is a professional question. WABC in New York, 77 on the radio has Sid Rosenberg. You know who he is? You know Sid Rosenberg?
Sid was a sports guy, wasn't he?
No, that's another Sid. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy literally 5 days ago, and he had to take it back, but he called. He hates Mamdani. He's already said, "I hate this guy." He loves Trump, and he called Mamdani.
Well, don't say it. But it was pretty bad. He had to take it back. So don't say it. So, but what about it?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. How does he still have his job in New York? And as WABC in New York really turned on Mamdani, because I mean it was a pretty heavy duty statement, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Brian can tell you off the air what it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the guy still has a job there. You tell me. Unless they've turned on the mayor.
ABC, the current ownership of WABC, which by the way should carry this program. We would, we have a lot. ABC is owned and operated by very good MAGA people.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the old days of Disney and all that stuff. It's owned by some really good Trump supporting people.
I believe what Rosenberg said was basically the truth. And they can say whatever they want on their side, and we have to be restricted. That's what gets me.
Yeah.
I understand you're trying to filter Brian, but
Not
I mean,
filter, but
it
I
was
mean,
all
you know what
over
he
New
said.
York to begin with.
Well, you can't say it.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I respect what you said, but but we always have to watch our tongue on our side. That's what I'm saying. And
Well,
their side, they say what
listen,
the
I
hell
was
they want.
talking about this yesterday, all right? Mom Donnie's wife liked those posts on Instagram glorifying the October 7th attack on Israel. And Mom Donnie comes out with his smile and says, I'm the one who's elected. She's not a public person. And, oh, okay, that's okay. I mean, give me a break. You know, and Democrats, I was talking about this yesterday, Richie. Sometimes I envy Democrats in that they have complete immunity from anything. They can do whatever they want.
You're right.
And they're never held accountable. They can steal billions of dollars. They can lie on immigration papers. They can say racist things. They can do whatever. They can impregnate people, you know, that they're not married to. They can do whatever they want. You know, they can have they can relocate the bodies of people that work as their White House counsel into the park. Nothing happens to them, right?
Right.
Nothing. And Republicans, if you jaywalk, your career's over.
Well, your question at the beginning of your show that you started this morning, I've been listening all morning. The question was I'm trying to. My mind just went blank. I remember what you started with.
They're about the school. The media are committing treason about the school attack.
Oh yeah, they're turning on the press. I mean, the press. We all know that happened in Vietnam. That happened to. They get embedded, and actually, Israel was the only one that kept the press out of that Gaza because they knew what was going to happen. The press gets in there, and as soon as they get in there, they turn on people that are trying to protect themselves. This has been normal forever, ever and ever and ever.
But I do think
right.
the odds are in our favor about the Save America Act. That President.
That's the question I want.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question. You just gave it to me. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, you asked, what if Democrats would defend that?
No
These
idea.
people don't represent anybody but themselves. No, but the only thing is they can't cheat if they do that. They can't cheat. I mean, they have to have.
Well,
no
listen.
ID
We all
so they
know
can
that,
cheat.
but what I would like to hear is a Democrat to try to make a legitimate case against voter ID to vote.
Well,
other than that,
they're going to say how much does a passport cost? They're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you people of color don't have the money to buy a passport, but they're going to give you all sorts of crazy excuses. I mean, it's insanity.
You know, I think you should have to
really
renew. I think you should have to renew your voter's registration, by the way, every 4 years as well.
You're right. You're 100% right. I just hope this thing passes. You get a lot of Republicans there that don't want it to pass. Thune is another one. Thune, rather. He's another one. He could eliminate this filibuster.
Well, I saw a
immediately.
very disturbing photograph of Thune the other day with Dick Cheney, and
He is the ultimate Republican. Bush Republican. I'm sorry. He really is.
he's a Bush Republican.
And
But President Trump has come up
playing-
when President Trump says he will not sign any legislation until the Save America Act is passed. That's a big deal. I was talking earlier. They can't pay back their donors if they can't pass legislation. So that's a tremendous, very smart move on President Trump's part that no other president has.
Isn't it amazing?
Nobody's ever done that
Greatest country
before.
in the world.
He's got a lot of smart moves, I'll tell you.
All right, Richie, we got to run. All right?
Greatest
country in the world and the greatest radio show in the world. I agree with you. Let's see. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. The Gold Report's coming up. We'll be back.
Good morning.
Hey there. We have about a minute.
Okay.
All right, give me 1 second here. Hold on. Steve, are you there? Nope, I don't have Steve. Okay. Hold on, William. Steve, are you there? Steve? All right, William, stand by. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William, how the metals looking today? William? Oh, I've lost everybody. Hold on, let me check it out. All right, William, are you back with me?
I'm here.
Okay, sorry, William. All right, sorry about that. On the line, we have William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated. How the metals looking today, William?
Metal's looking very strong, very, very good. The markets yesterday giving us a little bit of a buying opportunity in wild swings as the markets opened after the weekend. We saw all of the markets pretty much out of control with movements. The gold yesterday had a $200 swing in the price from the lows of $5,013 to the highs of over $5,200, and closed out the day just down $36 after being down almost $200 overnight.
Wow.
The market closed at $5,136, just down $36. Silver closed at $86.89, but silver had almost a $10 swing also, bouncing off the low of $79.54 yesterday, and then closing at $86.89. Platinum, similar, got down over $200 at one point, I believe, and on the low of 2016, and closed at $21.76, which was up $31. And palladium closed up $61 at $1,672. Oil yesterday having a wild day, also trading as low as or closing at $95, but got up to as high as $120. Overnight, we've seen gold trade in a range of $5,119 all the way up to $5,196. Right now, we are at $5,182 on gold. That's up $46. Silver up $1.76 at $88.65. Wow. Platinum up $38 at $2,214, and palladium up $4 at $1,676 the ounce. So the metals are very resilient, giving us some buy opportunities, but they don't stay down very long at all. So you just have to take advantage of whatever you can get, because the markets are getting at a point now where I believe there's going to be severe shortages in some of the products. And as we see, the physical demand is still very strong worldwide for silver and gold.
So you're saying now's a buy time, because when some of these things come in tough demand, the prices are going to shoot up.
I sure do.
Hear that, guys? Listen, you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail with William Youngerman, no matter where you are located in the world. His number, he opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And find both his phone number and address online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, we're going to go back to the phones. The phones have been pretty good today, I must say. We've had some higher quality calls. For the most part, we've had a couple of, ones that aren't the kind you want to be too proud of, but for the most part, been pretty good. There's one. Hey, Steve. All right, we got your back. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, fuck you for hanging up on me earlier.
Okay, that's very nice. Okay, that's the first one of the day. All right, first one of the day. That's the guy that said he was banned and I guess he wanted to make sure that he was, Steve. I mean, you know, if you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to re-engage. I want to tell you guys, this program, we're the only, a lot of people claim to do this and nobody else does. We don't just take live calls. We put anybody on regardless of their viewpoints, okay? Now, there are some requirements. Monday through Thursday, you have to talk about what we're talking about. Friday is open phones. And on Friday, we call it Open Mag and Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. That's one requirement. The other requirement is you have to be interesting. You can't be. We have to have some quality control, but no profanity. And you know what it is with the left? When it comes over the years, the dump button. You know, the dump button is what we have to use when someone uses profanity. Okay. And
limited profanity.
Yeah, the ones that aren't allowed, and I got to tell you, over the years, I could count on one hand how many times I've had to use the dump button with the conservative, and usually that's just a slip. And the dump button, when we have to use it, is mostly by liberals like that. And it just goes to show you, you give liberals any privilege whatsoever. What do? They abuse it. And, you have a tremendous privilege on this program to voice your opinion. I'm sorry that maybe your arguments are weak against conservatives. And I got to tell you, that was the guy who called earlier and said he was banned. And I said, I don't know who he is. Well, I do now. And I don't understand the liberal mindset at all, Steve. I really don't. I don't understand. They have no sense of morality or nothing. They're just a different type of cat. It's not like us. While we're waiting for the delay to rebuild, though, it gives me an opportunity to tell everybody about losing weight at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Oh, man. I got to tell you. When Steve, when you ever been on like an official diet like I've been with Coastal Weight Loss Secret?
Oh, sure.
Okay. The reactions of people, first off, there's people always want to hate on you, right? So I can't tell you how many people said, "Oh, you're going to gain the weight back, Brian. You're going to gain all the weight back. I've tried diets. You're going to gain the weight back." Well, thanks a lot for Mr. Voter. I really appreciate the support from some of these people. But the reality is, I haven't gained back a single ounce. And that's amazing. And the reason that I have not gained back a single ounce is because with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no major lifestyle changes. There's no pills, no injections. You can eat foods you normally eat like I do, okay? And I didn't exercise. Now, if I would have exercised, I would have lost weight faster. But I lost about a pound a day. And you know what? About a pound a day, that was enough for me. So, And one of the things people obviously tell me, wow, you have lost a lot of weight. But the other thing people tell me, and this is one I wasn't expecting, you look so much younger. I get that a lot. You look so much younger. Yeah, I guess you look older when your face is round. And I look younger now that I have my square jaw back, got my neck back, and I have a flat stomach. And it's really awesome. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right. The delay is re-engaged. Do you want to go back to the phones?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hey, Port St. Lucie. What's on your mind?
Hi, thank you. That guy who called about the gas prices, why don't you just Google 2023? I'm down here. Publix is like our number one grocery store. 2023, the average price of a gallon of milk was $7.59 to $8 in 2023. Now it's at $3 and change, $3.50 something a gallon. How come he wasn't complaining a few years ago when even eggs were like $8 for a carton? Now they're like $2 something. How come he didn't complain about that? That's what. No matter how much facts you show these people, like they keep on saying that we're the party of the Ku Klux Klan and Jim Crow. Those are all Democrats. Jim Crow was a Democrat. Ku Klux Klan was created by the Southern Democratic Party to control the blacks. And in 1964, 80% of the House and the Senate, Democrats, 80% of them voted against the civil rights, and Lyndon Johnson didn't even want to sign it. And he was told if he didn't sign it, he's going to lose the black votes.
Yeah.
The Republicans, thank God, held the House on both the House and the Senate, and they passed the law and put it on his desk. They don't see none of this. You show them facts. They still come from a blue state. They come here and then they vote blue. I'm lost. They don't see that they left that blue state.
Nowhere to hide.
Because it was crap.
Exactly.
And they come here and they vote blue.
And, it's important to point out that,
lost.
with the voter ID, by the way, Kamala Harris, the states that she won are the states that don't require photo ID to vote. What does that tell you? She didn't win. She didn't win a single state where ID is required to vote.
I'm lost. I'm like, what kind of America I'm in? This is the country that invented the light bulb, the electricity, the phone, the airplane. Invented almost like 90% of all the things we have, and they got stupid people here. I'm lost.
And don't forget democracy. We're the oldest democracy in the world. Freedom.
Yeah.
We all these great things that they hate so much.
And that's another thing. Oh, this is a racist country. Then why don't you tell all those blacks and brown people that are coming by the millions come to this country, this is a racist country? They don't know that? That's how I'm lost. I'm like totally lost.
Well,
and
you're not lost. They're lost.
Exactly. What a great caller. From a scumbucket to a gentleman. Wasn't that nice? Oh my goodness, Steve! I tell you. By the way, Byron Donalds is doing very well now, campaigning. He's out on the campaign trail. He's, Byron Donalds, who's endorsed by President Trump. He's going to be the first black governor of Florida. And and he's a Republican. This has really got them freaked out. The first black governor of Florida being a MAGA Republican endorsed by President Trump. And he's either.
How does the rest of the election look in general? Just a quick summation.
The Save America Act with the voter ID, I believe, will pass. With that, there's no doubt in my mind. If we get the Save America Act passed, no doubt in my mind we'll win. All we want is a free and fair election, which is what we want in Cuba, free and fair elections, right?
Don't forget you're talking to Democrats.
That's true. Democrats actually believe this, that if they lose, democracy's failed. There's only democracy if they're in power. They don't understand that people have they're very arrogant. They think they know what's best, and that's it,
Think.
Yeah, think. Well, think's maybe not a good word. It may not be a good word. All right, let's try another one. Let's see here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, no. Oh, boy. I tell you, the one privilege they have, they just can't control themselves.
Who is it? Was that the first guy?
No. It was another guy. I tell you. It would be nice to get a Democrat on the line who could have an exchange of ideas. Wouldn't it?
Well, that requires a mind.
Yeah. And the issue, there aren't that many Democrats left, man. I mean, you look at the polls, and there even there was a poll they were talking about on Fox, on CNN yesterday. Do you know, ICE? They're getting a lot of negative publicity, right, for months, for all year, right? Do you know that ICE has a higher approval rating than the Democrats in Congress? ICE.
Really?
Yeah, think about that. ICE has a higher approval rating than the Democrats. So
That's astounding.
I was in shock. It was on CNN. I was in shock when I heard that. I know I don't know, but ICE has had nothing but bad publicity, right? With the Minneapolis rebellion and the Battle of Los Angeles and the fake Maryland man.
Well, it's got to be a good sign as opposed to a bad.
Oh yeah,
sign.
it's a good sign for us. It tells you where the Democrats are. They're in Loserville is where the Democrats are. But we still have to have a massive turnout, right? If we have a massive turnout and we swamp them at the polls, we'll win without any problems. And if we get the, I saw, what's his name? Dollar Store Obama, Hakeem Jeffries. He says that Hakeem Jeffries said yesterday, until Donald Trump promises not to have ICE at voting locations, they're going to continue to defund ICE. Why would they be worried about ICE being at voter locations? I don't understand. ICE only goes where there's illegals. ICE only goes where there's illegal aliens, Steve. Why would they be at voting locations?
You've answered your question while asking it.
Hakeem Jeffries, Dollar Store Obama. Oh, my goodness. He's hard to look at too. He's a weird looking guy, Hakeem Jeffries. He looks green.
Creepy.
He's creepy. Yeah. Well, listen, we're out of time. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And if you're on hold, you'll be first in line. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve Kane has been here. My name's Brian Craig. God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. All right, guys, listen, if you're on hold, I got to run, but make sure you subscribe, and please, before you go, like the video. Liking the video, guys, helps get the program found by people that have not yet found the show, so please make sure you like the video. That helps out a lot. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you this afternoon on the podcast, guys. Take care.